All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. Welcome to the live. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Let's change out that thumbnail, and we're going to talk about how the institutions are playing the long game, whilst everyone in the crypto space that is the degen and has been on CT and YouTube, we're all playing the short game here. We're all chasing the trench, the next, trench 100x. We're leverage trading, we're shorting, we're longing. We're not realizing the fact that the entire world of the traditional financial system is coming on chain. And there's going to be specific chains that these institutions are picking, and the ones that are going to be the de facto picks for stablecoin issuance and also DeFi protocols. So the institutions always play the long game, and what they do is they make the retail fearful and not participate in the exact same thing that they are participating to continue the gap between the ultra rich and the ultra poor. And your goal is to get right in that sweet spot of the middle, so then you can learn what the big institutions are doing, what the big money's doing, what they're doing to play the long game, and you are going to play that same damn game. Because if you don't, we're going to be left behind, and we need to have this type of mindset. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Make sure you let yourselves be known in the chat. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Do all the things that get the algorithm going, because the algorithm on YouTube is absolute shit. And so and I'm sure you guys already know this. I mean, the algorithm for YouTube is absolutely terrible. And so we're trying to battle that right now. And the way that we can battle this is for you guys to hit the like button. So we're going to talk about Ethereum today as well. We're going to talk about how the ETF inflows on Bitcoin really influenced all of the price action that we had seen over the past year and a half for Bitcoin, and it had nothing to do with retail coming in to the for retail coming into the market. With all institutions, whilst retail was completely sidelined and fearful and not paying attention, the institutions have just been scooping up all of the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and issuing for these ETFs for the big buyers that are going to want to generate the yield. So this is very important. We're going to talk about how the Genius Act ties into all this with the stablecoin regulation for the overall cryptocurrency markets, and for TradFi and states and these protocols that are going to be eventually ran by big banks and hedge funds and Wall Street. They're all coming on chain. So we have to know where exactly all this money is going to be flowing. And right now we see that the ETFs are a hot ticket and has seen some of the most record-breaking ETF inflows for any ETF in history, which is the Bitcoin ETF. So we're going to get into some figures today for that. And just to show you real quick, this is the BTC inflows over the past 7 days, and has been seeing some massive inflows consecutively over the past week or longer. You can see here, all through June, we've had basically on an average, over $200 million a day on the ETF inflows, specifically with BlackRock being the highest, Fidelity being the second. But even on certain days like the 9th, we actually had Fidelity buying more than BlackRock, which you don't normally see. And because normally whenever BlackRock is putting in some heavy heat, like for instance, 336 million right here for BlackRock on the 10th, you see Fidelity has 67. And let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. So this is just for Bitcoin. And so what we want to show you guys is the comparison with on how Bitcoin actually got its price. Well, actually, let's go back to BTC and then we'll go to ETH. I want to show you on the daily flow since the beginning of last year. Now, why is this important? Because I think the same thing is going to happen as just one of the catalysts for Ethereum to break the all-time high and send us into our altcoin season. So Bitcoin, it took from last year, January. Now, if we look at January 11th, 2024, we go to Bitcoin and go to January 11th, 2024. And guys, we're also going to show you some really amazing altcoin charts that you do not want to miss. So make sure you guys are sticking with the live stream. We're going to do a nice short 45-minute live stream, not blab our mouths too long. We're just going to cut right to the damn chase here. So if you look at Bitcoin in January last year, you can see what happened. Well, whenever we started to get that ETF inflow, that was at 39,000. So you can see here on the 10th is when it actually launched. It's around the 10th is when it actually, it launched on my birthday. I remember the ETF was approved, I think, on the 23rd, something like that. And then Bitcoin went from 45 down to 39. And then it was through the news that there was like, oh, the Bitcoin ETF it's not a success. It's not going to push the price up. Everyone thought the ETF was going to be the catalyst, blah, blah, blah. And there was all this FUD. And then what happened? Freaking broke that all-time high, going to 73,000 beginning of the year. And it took from January to March to push it. But look how. This is how. Everyone has their different assumptions of why Bitcoin went up to its all-time high. Well, it's pretty simple. Look at the inflows every single day in January, February, and March. Look at how much money that is. That is a shit ton of money. So if you look at this is crazy. And then you can see why the price started going down. Why the price started going down and going sideways and going into 56,000 again is because look at the correlation between the ETF in April. Look at this, April. You go here, April, look at that. Sell off, not as much inflow. So who's moving the markets? It's the ETF issuers and the exchanges. That's who's moving the market. So if you think about it, they're the only reason why the market hasn't completely exploded and lifted off yet is because of the nature of the exchanges, also in combination of the ETFs and the flows and inflows and outflows. So with the ETFs, we have the inflows and outflows, and then with the exchanges, we have the market makers, offshore market maker trading houses that they are sending millions of dollars in, and we have a couple tweets we want to show. But here's it's true evil. It really is true manipulation and evil to the mass, to the full extent what Binance does with this Wintermute business. Because you can see here they send BTC and out BTC in $7 million clips, $6 million clips. Sol, same thing. Ethereum, same thing. They do it with these three specific tokens because it's the highest traded, most popular tokens right now in the entire space. And if they weren't doing this, we would have true, real price action. But this is what is manipulating the markets right now. It's complete, utter, despicable. It's despicable behavior. So shame on Binance and also Coinbase if they're doing this as well. We don't like it. We can't wait till that stops. It should be illegal because not everything should be free-ranged, wild, wild west out here in the crypto space, because obviously we know that if we really want our industry to survive and actually not looked at as just stupid magic internet money, it's got to be regulated. It has to be regulated, but into an extent that it actually still pumps our bags and doesn't put us in a crypto stronghold. So now let's get into how ETH is going to have that same type of playbook from the institutions according to the inflows. Now, when did this ETF start? Well, let's see where the spot ETF started is in July. So we have a little bit, and you can see here, it's a little bit more, not as great of action coming in on the Ethereum ETF at when it started in that time in last year. But you can see once they started to let the price get a little bit lower, they got lower and lower. They were like, let's scoop up that ETH. And then you can see here that's in after the year, it was just like sell-offs. But here we're starting to get some bigger numbers. Now we're starting to get some bigger numbers, some different inflows into the ETH ETF. And I think what is going to really actually push the catalyst for Ethereum going to all-time high is there is going to be, I think, 4, 5, or 6 different Ethereum ETFs that are going to be able to offer staking. So once this goes into play, we have the Genius Act being passed. We have Ethereum spot ETF staking that's going to earn yield, and that is what the institutions want. They want that juicy yield. They want that. They want to be able to park their money somewhere and earn that yield, and this is what they've been doing in the stock market for years, and now they're able to do it with a potential ETH spot ETF staking that's going to be earning dividend returns, aka yield. And so this is how I think we're going to have this crazy blast off for Ethereum. Now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, what should I be paying attention to if this is going to be the case? Well, we have to pay attention to the altcoins. We have to pay attention to what is going to be the altcoins to watch for this particular setup. Now, I have been paying attention to a few different coins. I think when we start getting into what DeFi protocols are actually being used by the big money, and one of them is Aave. So I actually drew this. I totally forgot about drawing this pattern on here, but if you look at Aave on the weekly, we are actually in a pretty bullish cup and handle pattern setup where the breakout is actually pretty close. You know, the depth of the cup, you can see the depth of the cup from the bottom of the handle here. Handle's probably, a little extended. You can see here. And this is what I'm looking at for most of the popular DeFi protocols and lending protocols, yield protocols that are going to be used by these institutions. And so some like Aave, Maker, there's a few different ones, but mainly we want to focus on Aave because Aave is where World Liberty Financial is mainly staking their stable coins and their ETH and their ETH and their stable coins. It's all being staked with Aave because you got Aave ETH wrapped staked ETH, then you have Aave ETH USDC that they're staking, and then they have Aave ETH wrapped Bitcoin. So Aave ETH wrapped ETH and Aave ETH USDT that they're staking. So what they're doing is generating yield. Like when you have millions of dollars and you can generate a yield of anywhere between 3 to 5 to even 6%, you realize how much money that is generating in just the yield alone with a stablecoin. This is what the Genius Act is bringing to us, is the ability for the TradFi fusion going into the blockchain through the modalities of the stablecoins to where they can earn the yield. But what we have to know is that these stablecoins are going to be minted on certain chains, whether it be Mantle, whether it be Solana, Ethereum, Tron, Sui, Say, whatever it is, if it's layer 1, layer 2, it could be Arbitrum, Optimism. You can see if we go into the DeFi protocols and click on chains. You can do this by going to defilama.com. You click on stables and bring up the top stables here. You can see that Ethereum, Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Base, Hyperliquid, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Aptos. We've recently seen Aptos really gain some traction recently, and also Sui and Say for getting signal from the institutions that these chains are going to be a main pick for doing stablecoin minting. I think Say was a big announcement that Wyoming was going to be affiliated with using the Say blockchain for minting some stables. Now, it could be the same thing coming down the pipe with a lot of these other chains like Near, Sui, because you can see stables on these chains are really high. So it's funny that you don't think about stable coins as being like a bullish thing because you're like, it's a stable coin, whatever. But when it comes to the yield, this is what the institutions want. They want yield. They want to be able to just have their money. They don't want like crazy amount of risk. They just want like nice, stable yield. And that's what I've realized over time. And if you have enough money, see, like we have to take these big risks because we don't have that much money. That's the difference between CT and Wall Street and the big wigs is they already have generated that the capital. They have access to capital. And all they need to do is earn more yield than what they're paying on the interest for the capital. So for the longest time, it was like 0 to 1% for them to get massive amounts of capital and then earn yield from it. So that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. That's how you actually can use the debt to your advantage. But see, in our case now, and for the retail person, the retail investor, there is no access to capital and the interest rates are astronomical and we have inflation. So this is why, if you're wondering why there's such a gambling mentality right now in retail traders, because we don't have the capital. We're trying to get the capital by being more risky because we have no freaking choice. Rob Paul explains this. He's like, you want to know why there is such a mentality right now for people to go 20x, 50x, 100x, try and gamble in the trenches? Is because there's no money. We don't have any money. No retail's here speculating like they were in 2021. Completely different ball game now. Completely different. That's why, if you're wondering why it's been such a divide of people in the crypto space having a hard go at it, that's why. That's why. We got rocked in 2020 and 2021, and if you weren't smart, and I'm not saying, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that term because if you were not able to take advantage of some of the volatility in 2020 and during the COVID years, it's not your fault. It doesn't mean you were dumb. Doesn't mean you were smarter than everyone else. It just meant your perception was different. You perceived the volatility as an opportunity instead of a fear-based mentality. That's what separated the people who are actually able to benefit from the volatility in COVID and the people that didn't. It's all perception. How did you perceive it? How did you act? And then that was your result. So, and it was easy for your perception to be skewed because there was so much BS, lies, mainstream media manipulation and propaganda. You had the housing market going crazy and manipulating prices to where the houses were $100,000, $150,000 overvalued from what the real price of these houses are. So, and taxes went up. People that bought, and this is just specifically with the real estate because that was the whole focus was like, oh my God, like, houses are just going to keep going up and this is crazy. And the interest rates. So it's just a lot of things that could have skewed your perception on how you were able to act. And if you got stuck or caught or trapped, it's okay because a lot of people got trapped. You're not the only one. A lot of people got trapped and we're playing catch up. And why people are sports betting, gambling, especially gambling in the trenches and on the memes, is because of this fact. It's not a steady race of accumulation. It's like, oh my God, I got to do something before it's too late. It's like an urgency. And so it's sad that that's how it is, because in reality, the institutions are still playing the long game while we are scrambling and not realizing that all we have to do is buy the freaking coins. Buy the coins that the institutions are flowing money into for stable coins due of the Genius Act that's about to pass fully in the House. So, and we were convinced this whole time that that's not what they're gonna do. It took a little bit. Obviously, we've had the capitulations of a lot of different things to make us feel like it's never going to happen, but we have to be patient, because the institutions, like we said in the title of the video, they're playing the long game. They're playing the long game. And we're over here trying to short-term trade this damn thing, and what we need to be doing is backing the freaking truck up and getting as much money as we possibly can in the strong altcoins and in crypto in general, and learn how to start generating this yield over time, and also getting exposure into what these institutions are getting exposure into. And you got to remember, we knew about this, and we've all known about this in these specific coins for a while, way before they did, and now they're coming in and trying to buy our bags up as we're capitulating and selling. So I'm kind of on the side with Alex Becker, where it's like, I'm tired of hearing everyone complain and cry while we got the whole damn plot set up here right in front of our eyes, and we just have to be patient. That is the best thing that we can do, is learn how to be patient and know that every time it's always been the damn same. The people that were able to hold and wait and be patient and not flip-flop and grope all around and not leverage trade too much, those are the winners. The people that are complaining too much and just like flopping and groping like a fish, don't have a plan, don't have a strategy, and reacting to every single news article that comes out, you're not going to make it unless you change, unless you know that crypto is here for the future and is here to stay. We got the biggest, the most richest people in the world signaling that they're going into crypto because that's the only way of protecting their wealth. So, is there really only 2 people? Is there just 2 people on YouTube? What the hell is going on? I really think that there is no one here. I think people just quit. I think a lot of people in crypto just quit. That's crazy. It's like, what is going on? YouTube has just been like this for me recently, where there's literally only like 3 people watching. Which I'm glad, because I'm like, cool, you guys are awesome. You're real people, which makes me think that everyone else on everyone else's channel are like fake bots or something. It's crazy. There's no one here. Bot the Top says, bruv, the new people aren't here in the market yet. We are here to gamble on the casino memes. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then on X, we got 4 people. We got 1 on Twitch. This is crazy. This is wild. But see, we got amazing people in the space. They're like Headband High. He's been here from the drop. Here when it's bad, when it's good. And so we really appreciate people like that. We appreciate all the people are like Headband, and also the Sprotos. The Sprotos came in and rated the live stream past couple days on X, and they were really getting the algorithm going. So I really appreciate the Sprotos, and that's what I feel like is if you can find a community that is just bullish on you and they will repost your stuff, that's super valuable too. Because I a lot of the times get very discouraged. Like I show up here every day and sometimes that's not enough. You can show up every day, but it's not enough. You have to have like it's who you know. At the end of the day, it's like, who do you know and who can you get in contact with that already has a following and already has something and they boost you? That is just facts. That is just facts. It's just like how when you're trying to hang out with people that have more money than you hang out with people that are doing the thing, and then they bring you up. They go, okay, you can come into the party this time. I'll let you come. You know, yeah. I'll let you meet these people. You gotta get the in. That's what it's about. That whole thing, it's who you know. That's true. That's 100% true. It's who you know. 100%. Doesn't mean it always is going to work out in a positive way. Like it's all like, oh, I just met this person, they brought me to the party, and then all of a sudden now you're going to be successful. No, it still takes your action and how you handle yourself in these situations too, that you can then get brought up in the club. So now you're in the circle, you know. Because trust me, there is a club. There's people that are up in the top. There's people that are getting way more exposure. They're getting more of the deals, and you got to schmooze with them. But I'm schmoozing with the ticker. I'm schmoozing with Fathead Dave. I'm schmoozing with James More Light. I'm schmoozing with YXJ.ETH. And we're bullish on the ticker. We're bullish on ticker Bitcoin. Because this community is hilarious, but also they're very supportive and they always encourage, you know, me not to quit, to keep going, to be the big soldier. But let's get into some of the the data here. We're gonna go through a couple of graphs. We're gonna go through a couple numbers. We're gonna go through a couple tweets. Then we're gonna pull up some more altcoin charts, and then we're gonna end the stream. But we're glad you guys are here. Thank you for tuning in, and we really appreciate you. So first, we're gonna go through the annualized returns comparison of Bitcoin and all the other major assets, high-performing assets in the world. And you can see here at the 1-year return on 2024. So we're going from 2024, a 1-year return, then the 5-year return, and then a 10-year return. And you can see here that Bitcoin has outpaced everything astronomically. And you can see that the S&P 500 on the year return for 2024 really did great. I mean, 28%. Excuse me, that's not bad. But then the 5-year return, though, was down on an average 15% on the 5-year. So compared to Bitcoin, I mean, that's 155%. So, and then even on the 10-year return from 2014 to 2024 shows a between 50 and 230% return on the 10-year. That's wild. That's crazy. Nothing else has been able to do that. The only thing that's been relatively close to that type of 5-year, 10-year percentage gap return has been gold. And just then the overall NASDAQ with it being on 10-year 20%. That's so if you think in terms of, you know, US large cap 14%, third in place, NASDAQ second at 20%, and then Bitcoin being the number one. And so on the 1 year here, 47% on the NASDAQ, gold 32%. So gold has been in that pattern over the past, you know, since 2008, was in a cup and handle pattern that has broken out to the target, and now it's showing weakness at the top of the handle, which was at $3,500. So gold is starting to now sell off, and we're starting to see a lot of the money flow into Bitcoin, because gold, even though it's it has naturally, it's been the store of value for a very long time. But what's starting to happen, a friend of mine told me that he was like, a lot of people are wanting access to their gold. Like they're wanting to get it and then move it, or have it be moved, or actually have access to their physical gold. And once these people want the access to it to then either sell it or do whatever they're wanting to do with it, they're going to realize really quick that whoever was the custodian of the gold, they don't have the gold. They don't have the amount of gold that they say they do. And they just say, trust me, bro, like, we have the gold. It's still like Fort Knox. It's like, is the gold actually there? How much gold do all these different custodians of the gold, do they have it in this vault, or this vault's safer here? But really, if everyone tried to get their gold and then say, I'm going to get it and put it in my chest, the gold market would crash, because then there would be the realization that it's actually fabricated and it's not the real gold supply. Miners can also put more gold into the supply, mint it, mining it, and that also dilutes the overall supply, and you can just make fake gold. So that over time, really, I don't think is much of a store of value as what Bitcoin has now become, which it's a limited supply. It is, it has the supply and demand mechanisms where you can't create any more Bitcoin than 21 million. You can at a certain point you can't mine anymore, and then we just have whatever is the remaining supply is in circulation. That's it. That's it. So there's nothing else in the world that has this type of setup. So this has been the figures for what Bitcoin has been able to do over the past 10 years. Now that's just Bitcoin, going into the annualized returns, and we can actually compare the annualized returns too with this chart of the realized Bitcoin profits over time as well. As you can see here, if it'll load. There we go. So you can see realized profits all time, and in the green areas is where people actually, took some profits on Bitcoin per what the price is of each section here on 2018. You can see in 2021 a little bit more realized profits on the all-time high there, previous bull market, and then you can see here we have in the beginning of the year we actually had a lot of profit, realized profit on the beginning of 2024. And then you can see at the very end of the year, we had the biggest spike of realized profit on Bitcoin when we went into the Trump pump. And so it's pretty decent figure. All right, so now let's go into, if you're curious on what the Genius Act is, we'll just break it down real quick. It's just kind of like the guidelines of establishing some stablecoin regulations. So we'll just kind of go through the bullet points of what it means and how this is going to relate to what type of altcoins we actually want to have in our bags. All right, so the Genius Act, which stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. So it is a law passed by the Senate in June 2025 to regulate the stablecoins. So stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency designed to have a stable value. So if you guys didn't know, usually tied to the US dollar or treasuries or certain types of high value assets. So it has to be backed by high value assets and a type of treasury, whether it be gold and also the US dollar, to avoid the wild price swings seen in other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And someone also mentioned, they were like, there's going to be a lot of stable coins that actually are going to depeg and not work, and then there's going to be some that stay stable and don't depeg, and those are going to be the ones that institutions are going to go, all right, that's the one. And then we have to figure out, okay, well, which stable coin was that, and where was it minted? Okay, was it minted on Solana? We need to be in Solana. Was it minted on Arbitrum? We need to be in Arbitrum. Is it both of them? Okay, now we have 4 really, really high quality stable coins that are minted on Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Sui, and whatever. Then there's your bag. Then that's like the easy, no brainer, no hard work that has to be done, a bunch of research and a bunch of extensive research. It's just simple. Where are the stables being minted? Where are they trying to generate that yield? Is the TVL increasing on the chain? There you go. So that's how we need to look at this as a whole going into the long game of crypto. All right. So the Genius Act does, in simple terms, it sets rules for stablecoin issuers. So only approved companies like banks or licensed financial firms can issue stablecoins in the United States. That ensures that only trustworthy entities can create these digital currencies. It protects consumers, so the laws required stablecoin issuers to hold a full reserve of safe assets like treasuries or the dollar to back every stablecoin they issue. This means if you own a stablecoin, you should be able to redeem it for its full value, protecting you from losing money if the issuer fails. So prevents fraud and crime, ensures transparency. So the companies issuing the stablecoins must regularly disclose what assets they hold to back the coins and undergo audits. So I think it's like a timely audit, like they have to go through an audit like every couple months or something like that. So then it makes sure that like whatever they're doing, like they're keeping up with the auditing process. And it also gives investors or institutions more confidence that they can then use, quote, stablecoin. Maybe it's the Trump World Liberty Financial stablecoin, the USD1. That one is starting to, for instance, here you go. Here's the stable coin already that's been issued by the Trump protocol, which is the USD1. And this was issued on, let's see, holdings by chain. Which one is this? Is this the USD? Yeah. So they actually minted this stable coin on the BNB chain. So on the Binance Smart Chain. So they have, it's not a lot of it, but still, it's just, my point is, or no, they do. They have $2 million in this USD1 stablecoin, and so that was minted on Binance Smart Chain. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so promotes U.S. dollar use. So this is also the thing which is interesting because the dollar has been going down. And it's going to hit a point where it bounces because of the nature of the stable coins. This is what's really interesting. It's like the dollar strength is going down, and it's going to hit a certain point where then it recovers again, but it's going to be through the modality of the stable coins. So by regulating stable coins tied to the dollar, the law aims to keep the U.S. dollar strong in the global digital economy. And so, and then also it limits who can issue the stable coins. So big tech companies like Amazon and Google can't directly issue stablecoins unless they partner with regulated financial institutions, which helps prevent the monopolies. So now this kind of gives us a clear picture of what the Genius Act means, how it will benefit us over time. All right, so I like this from Alex Harmozy. It says, in the real world, there's no scoreboard, no referee, and no one tells you you've won. You just keep your head down, grinding until one day you look around and see you're the only one left. And I feel like that will be literally my story in this crypto journey, is that I'm going to look up after continuing to show up every damn day and continue to grind and get better and learn this industry, that I'm going to look up and I'm going to be about the damn only one left, because but most people are going to fucking quit. Excuse my language, but that's what I feel like I'm in right now. I'm like, where the hell is everyone? Did you quit? Well, I've gotten that damn close, but you know what? When I come back to it and I start to really think and get my head out of my butt, I go, what am I doing? Why would I even consider quitting something like this with the stuff that I know? with the stuff that I know now and the information that I know now, I would have to be a fool to not continue to grind in this industry and continue to show up. Especially when I know I'm providing alpha value and a good breakdown and overall zoomed out thesis of how you should be going into the next couple of years with this space. I've made the mistakes. And have done the things that I could even teach someone that has way more money than I have to just destroy this market and do really, really well. So we're staying. We're not going anywhere. We're not quitting. If we got one person watching on YouTube, I don't give a damn. I'm going to give you the alpha. I'm going to give that one person the alpha. Hoy. All right, so we got someone on Twitch that says, "Hi, I'm a person with 7 years of Elliott Wave trade and investing experience, and I catch every bottom top that I trade to the cent, literally." Oh no. All right, so I am not here to sell, ask for anything. I just want to help people out by giving the most valuable info to get people on the same level. If you're not interested, that's fine as well. Hey. Okay, all right. Well, message me on X. Message me on X. You can find me at Dano Crypto 904. That's where you can find me. All right, let's go. Let's keep going through the stuff. Let's keep going through some stuff. Yeah, the Aave chart. All right, so now let's go and pivot into... Let's go into the altcoins. Now, why is Aave the focus? Or why would Aave be a decent pick? Well, you can see whenever Aave was going into the last altcoin season, Aave went from $41 to $607 because the nature of the DeFi protocols and people using them, I mean, it was just like, it was massive. And then you can see here during this time, it was the boring times, accumulation times. And now you can see that the fact that we are actually trading over the EMA ribbon here and above the green bullish line, you can see that I think the next leg up that we could see here for Aave could be matched from the last time we crossed the bullish green line. So we get here. So that's kind of why I have the target of something like Aave getting to $1,000, or maybe even getting to at least an all-time high of like $777, that magic number right there. And that's kind of where we're looking at in terms of the lending protocols. And you can kind of see it also too here with the RSI. You can see right here, we're so close to this price point where the RSI was oversold right here. Or overbought, sorry, not oversold, but overbought. And right here is where the price was about 380, and we're sitting at 264. And look at the difference of where we're sitting right now. So getting up into that point again, and then getting into a area of being overbought, I think would match up pretty good right in this area. So that's my price target and call for Aave. But this is going to be, I think, the case for any coin that you're looking at on the weekly that's getting close to trading over its green EMA ribbon band, which is the 20. Is that the 20 SMA or the 20? Yeah, it's the EMA 20. So once you're getting over the EMA 20 on the weekly, on a particular altcoin here, then we could be in some decent territory. As you can see, whenever it does cross, it really starts to pick up some motion Like for instance, whenever render crossed over the green line here on the weekly, we went up 653% from October to May, and we went on a nice little run. You look at Sol. Whenever Sol crossed over the green line, bullish line, we went up right here from the bottom 700% from October into March. And so this is kind of where we're at right now. I mean, we're right below that line, and you can see if you're right below it, could be decent entries to get into some of the alts. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's even the same with the ticker. With ticker Bitcoin, you can see whenever it's crossed over that green line or even hit a nice little bottom, it gets a nice, decent recovery. You can see here, like when it crossed over there, 223% move to the upside. And we're predicting that on this one, once we cross, we'll end up right here at 8-10 cents and be crossing and going another 200-300%, touching that all-time high and potentially even breaking a new all-time high at, say, 50, 60 cents or so right there. I think it'd be a nice call for the ticker Bitcoin. XYO, this is another one we're really watching because look, you can see whenever it's crossed over the green line here for the EMA ribbon, has had a really, really nice move to the upside. And you can see here, even from the bottom, went up a good 312% from November 2023 into that same area, March 2024. And that's a key area to look at when it comes to Ethereum, is look around the area between January and March of last year. And this is how we can start looking at how we're going to perform for the rest of the year and January, February, March of next year. Because we could have this lagging altcoin season where we just need ETH to just push over this certain level, and then it's gonna be game on. It's gonna be game on, and we're holding certain things like ticker Bitcoin, XYO, and Pepe, which are all connected to Ethereum success, and we're a little, maybe a little naive, but it's that with combined with conviction and determination. And to be a little delusional that those people usually do win, especially in crypto, because there's so much noise, there's so much distraction, there's so much extraction points and things to take your money, when you knew this whole time, all you have to do is just buy the strong ETH coins and just hold ETH. Because the thing's going to go to all-time high. I don't want to say I'm certain, but damn it, it feels like it. It feels like once ETH goes, it will be the most hated rally in crypto history, and all the people that have been patient enough to hold the strong liquidity tokens, which if I'll show you right here, go to age and look at all the ones that have been around for a year or 2 years and look at the liquidity, and this is where you need to be paying attention to. You need to be paying attention to the strong liquidity tokens and charts that are at pretty much almost their bottoms, where you're getting another opportunity to buy strong coins at the bottom where they've been, and now you can actually buy low and sell high. Because that's the whole point, right? Buying low when everything is just convincing you otherwise, and then you hold to the euphoric point where you have people asking you about crypto. Once you have people asking you about crypto and people that you have never would have thought would have been like, hey, what should I buy? That's when you don't even answer them. You literally immediately go to your phone and you sell a little bit of your crypto. That's the sign. That's the sign. That's always been the sell signal, is when your barber or your bartender or people that you just don't even care about crypto at all are asking you like, what should I buy? That's when you go, oh no, I should probably sell some immediately right now. It sounds funny. I sound like I'm joking, but that is a legitimate, serious sell indicator of when you could be taking a little bit of profits. Is when the Uber driver is asking you what meme coin to buy. And if we're still, and here's another great metric, we're under this fair value line for the total cryptocurrency market cap, and only when we pass it do we run. Only when we pass the fair value line of the cryptocurrency total market cap, which we've passed it in each cycle, in 2011, 2012, 2011 right there. Then right here, we got that one. Then we have the 2017, 18 bull run. Passed it right there. Hit the total upper band as well. The only reason we didn't hit the upper band right here, there's a reason. The only reason we didn't hit this upper band right here is because we had bad actors in the space and massive capitulations. We had a major protocol go completely to zero, Luna. The stablecoin, USTD, completely depegged, wrecked thousands of people. All at the same time, FTX capitulated. That exchange went down. We had Voyager go down. We had 3 Arrows Capital go belly up. We had Celsius. Like all that, like it was just a nightmare. So no wonder we didn't hit the top band. So we got massively rug pulled here. And retail sentiment went into the floor. And by the way, guys, since then, it has not recovered. You got to remember when normie mindshare goes and gets the mainstream media like outlook on and if you should be buying crypto or investing, you got Tom Brady on the news saying he lost Ford had millions and millions of dollars on FTX and everyone was making fun of him. It even was presented in the roasting of Tom Brady. One of the jokes was that, like, yeah, you should really trust this guy. He lost millions and millions of dollars on crypto. And then that gets in the retail mindset of like, oh my gosh, like even Tom Brady can't be successful in crypto. I ain't touching it. So this is why the retail hasn't even want to touch this with a 10.5-foot pole. But they're going to have no choice. That's the thing. Now the institutions are just going to pump it up into this area, and the retail is going to be in crypto whether they like it or not. That's what's going to be hilarious, is that there will be people that won't even realize they're using crypto. That's how this industry is going to be. It's going to be wild. So I'm predicting that we get that top of the band total cryptocurrency market cap truly going into Q1 and Q2 of next year. We still have a lot of time for accumulation right now because of the nature of what I showed you for altcoins being below and getting close to the weekly bullish EMA ribbon band of the 20 EMA. So this is all, and you can see that a few coins, and just Aave and Solana specifically, are in a massive cup and handle pattern ready to break out and destroy faces. We have Solana with multiple ETFs that are coming down the pipe, and also treasuries are being set up with Solana as well. And Solana has had stablecoin growth up 40% on the year and adding an extra $10 billion in stables over just the past year alone. So how does Solana get to $1,000? That's how. It's also becoming one of the main chains to be able to do quick, fast transaction perpetual trading through things like Jupiter. So, yeah, it's looking good. So this is another coin that's in that cup and handle pattern, Solana, and then, like I said, Aave, similar cup and handle pattern. These two tokens right here, honestly, like you think about a nice swing long opportunity is in Solana and Aave right now. Really liking how these two coins are looking on the weekly chart here. Looks really, really good. Really liking how Bitcoin is looking as well. It's like perfect chart to be able to buy a bottom. Zeus also too. Zeus basically bottomed out here. Remember, whenever it was launched, it launched up to $1.15, but it went all the way down into 15 cents is where it's currently at right now. It's basically hit its bottom. It traded up to $1 a second time going into the Trump pump, but then most of the alts did one of these where it just went straight down, right back down to entry pretty much, and also at the bottom. So there's a couple coins around here that you could be buying the bottom. There's some that are, I think, a little overvalued right now that you could be potentially buying something that's like, it's already been running. It's already been running a little bit, and that was something like Hyper, for instance, like Hyper Liquid, has just been. I mean, look, it's like you don't know if you're buying the top or not, because this thing could go right back down into 22, 23, could go back down into this support $18. You just don't know, but this is something that you're kind of buying a top of the chart. So it doesn't mean that it could not, doesn't mean that it's not going to go to maybe 52. Could go to 52, could go to, up in these areas, could really pump up. But if you want to have an opportunity to buy a bottomed out chart, then you got to look for one. You got to look for the chart that still has like, okay, does it have a good narrative? Does it show strength? And is it close to a bottoming point to where you can get the max returns? I mean, look, you've got all that action coming on Aptos recently, and Aptos still hasn't on the weekly crossed its EMA 20. So that could be a bottom chart. And you think, whenever it's hit the all-time highs last year in April, it got up to $17. $17, and it's at $4 right now. So could be just as simple as going through all of your altcoins, putting on the EMA ribbon on the weekly, and then looking at where these things are. That could be the easiest thing that you can do right now, is to just like go into the weekly chart, go to the weekly time frame, pull up an altcoin, doesn't matter what it is, Aptos, HBAR, ETH, Polkadot, Sui, Sonic, whatever the hell, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just pull the weekly chart up. This is where we're going to get the magic. This is the magic. Because when you're looking in the small time frames and you're just looking at, yes, if you're a scalping trader all day, 5 minute, 2 minute, trade the damn 1 minute. But when you're thinking about your long-term bag, where I am going to, this is what needs to be on your mind. I'm going to take profits and start to see what the market really is going to look like when Ethereum hits an all-time high. We have not hit an Ethereum all-time high yet. All this is there. This is like nothing until we hit an Ethereum all-time high. When Ethereum hits the all-time high, the real market comes in. This is nothing. This is nothing. When Ethereum hits all-time high, we will then really truly see what the market's going to look like. And our goal is to be in these coins and to be holding bags of coins. It's not the trading. It's the waiting. It's not the trading, it's the waiting. It's time in the market beats timing the market. Nothing has been more true than those statements right now. Get it through your head and we will win. I'm talking to myself. Talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So we're going to spend the last 5 minutes doing a Q&A. You guys want me to pull up some charts, or there's anything you want to ask me and get my opinion on something? This is the time. This is the time. So we got 5 minutes for a Q&A. So let's do it. Let's do it. We got 5 minutes for a Q&A. These are some articles kind of mentioning about the Bitcoin ETFs notching that 3 consecutive days of inflows and why it matters, and why we're really trying to get you guys to look long term and don't get like discouraged by the choppiness and the exchanges being money hungry and liquidating people. You got to remember, you can only get liquidated if you're leverage trading. If you're spot buying, you just hold until you're in profit. It could be that easy, guys, but it's tough. Like I said, the gambling mentality right now, because we're all down so bad that we're put in a really tough position. We're put in a tough position. And if it was so easy, everyone would do it, right? If it was so easy, everyone would freaking do it. But it's not easy. I'm not trying to put that as a reality, but and to cement that, but it's just the facts. Like once you come into something like this, into investing and especially in crypto, because of the nature of the volatility, it's not easy. You have to be strong-willed. You have to learn a lot about yourself and your risk profile, your emotions. Like a lot of things come into play when you start getting in this game. Legit. Like if it was that easy, just get into crypto, everyone would be doing it. But like, is a small handful of people that are diving into this space head on, like we are. Very small percentage. Like a lot smaller than you guys realize. All right, so we got Laser saying thoughts on Say. So where was that article where we had Say was let's go to the terminal real quick. Let's go to our terminal. Let's see, we had some data on Say. Where's Say? Okay, Say hitting new highs on ecosystem and governance pilot on government pilot momentum. Key breakout alert. Say continue track in Wyoming and Circle pilot updates for catalyst driven moves. Yeah, Say token continues. Say is up 38% on the week, driven by the Wyoming stablecoin pilot, airdrops, staking incentives, and $3 million in inflows of the TVL approximates to $540 million. So we're checking on Say. Say's right here. So it's in the top 20 in terms of the protocols. You can see here it has 50 protocols on Say. And then you have the weekly, the 7-day, weekly, and the monthly percentage of total growth is really good. So you could see the DeFi TVL has increased substantially to 590 million, getting up there. And you can see that the DeFi TVL, in terms of compared to other chains, is really high. Because like you can see like Kronos, like we're bullish on Crow, like we like Kronos. Kronos is 416. So it's already surpassed Kronos. It's surpassed Adara. Yeah, so it's really getting some traction here. And whenever I think of Say, I think of Sui. It's like Sui Say Sui. Which one? And then or Say Sui Solana. It's all S's. It's all the S's. Say Sui Solana Sonic. You got all your S's right there of an altcoin bag right there. Say Sui Sonic Solana. Say Sui Sonic, Solana. Is there another S? Is there another S chain? Where's the other S chain? Oh, that was the... Okay, yes. Okay, so Say, this is what was where the TVL really started to come in. Why? Because remember what I was telling you about with the stable coins and the institutions, they want that yield. What's Ye Finance? Well, it's not Kanye's financial protocol. I'll tell you that, but it's Ye. So you got Ye Finance is a lending protocol with the TVL that's increased to 349 million, and over the past month has went up 23%. And the cumulative revenue is also up there with $1.6 million. So the revenue is important as well. So if these protocols are generating high revenue, which is I think why Aave is something to watch, because they're generating good revenue as well. Jupiter and protocols and dexes generating actual revenue and making money, that's a good sign. It's just like a stock in the stock market where a company has good revenue and their shares are healthy. The shareholders and the board's happy. Everyone's happy. All the stuff's coming in, all great numbers. What does that do? Makes the stock go up, values the company up, brings the value proposition up in the company substantially. So crypto's the same way in terms of the DeFi protocols and what's happening on chain as the value. This is where the real alpha is. While someone will tell you like, oh, be bullish on Cardano because Charles Hoskinson is blah, 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 and he's saying all the DeFi, and he's like, oh, we're working harder than everyone else. Cool, bro. Where's your DeFi action? Where is your token actually being used like these other tokens? Is your token being bought? No. So then I'm not paying attention to it. We got convinced the last cycle that was like, oh, smart contracts, Cardano's going to blow Ethereum out of the water. That's what it did. It did nothing. It did nothing. Sunday swap was a disaster. All the swaps that came out was a joke. Like it was a nightmare. And so as much as Solana got such a bad rap the whole entire time and people were capitulating on Solana, well, guess who's on top now? Solana. So this is why you gotta just come to your own conclusions, do your research, because once you do that, you'll be led to the right places instead of listening to the freaking timeline. 100%. Pulse chain with no advertisement, no like things that all the other chains are getting with in terms of attention, has more DeFi and DEX volume than Cardano. Explain that to me. Look, 7-day chains, 19% in Pulse chain. DeFi, total DeFi TVL, 232 million. DEX volume, 14 million. Okay? Unless it's changed, we'll see. You got DeFi TVL, 431 million. So okay, it's got more half of the TVL locked, but look at the stables. 31 million. Pulse chain has 42 million in stables. DEX volume 1.9. DEX volume on Pulse chain for the past 24 hours, 14 million. And people want to convince you that Cardano is just bustling. Facts are facts. Numbers are numbers. If you want to, you go by these numbers. This is the real stuff. This is on-chain data. Okay, so Kaspa. Kaspa, I think, had its run last year and the year before. Kaspa was the talk of the town. It was like, this is going to be the new Bitcoin, the proof of work blockchain. Kaspa. So Kaspa, I don't really, like in terms of the chart, let's look at the chart. Do we have it saved on here? Yeah, Cas. You can see here, it had a massive like ascending wedge. This thing was just ascending. It was just like breaking new all-time highs, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. At 22 cents, it hit resistance. It tried to test it again here and failed to break a new all-time high, pushing it up to where it was going to possibly hit that 23 cents. And since then, it's kind of just been on a downtrend, on a regression trend on the other side going down. So it did establish some support here, though, because you can see through here on the weekly chart, we have some support right here, which is also resistance. You can see resistance, support kind of flip here on this price line you got right here. So in terms of Caspa being at a particular bottom because it's under this 20 EMA ribbon, could be a good accumulation still, but it's like, what is Caspa offering? I haven't really heard much of what Caspa's even doing. Haven't really seen too much happening. So it's kind of would be like just a waiting game. You know, this is kind of like, all right, you buy back at 7 cents. You know, you kind of wait and see, like, okay, could it hit an all-time high? But a lot of the times, though, what we see is we'll see coins like this pumping up through in this range, and it's not guaranteed that we'll get that price again. It's really not guaranteed we'll get that price again. Sometimes a lot of the some altcoins will bleed into the altcoins that are going to be the winners. And I feel like that's going to happen with ETH and Solana. Once we start to see an ETH all-time high and we start seeing Solana action, like Solana and ETH, I think are going to be the altcoins that other altcoins bleed into. Like we had all the alts in general bleeding into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to hit a certain point where dominance is going to cool off. And oh yeah, the smart contracts. Yes, Caspa was supposed to have some smart contracts and have a bustling ecosystem, and it's just going to be a wait and see. Smart contracts isn't always a surefire way that your chain is going to be like successful. Oh, it has smart contracts. It doesn't matter. Like smart contracts on Cardano happened, and it was supposed to be. Look, the whole ecosystem and Cardano lovers were preaching on the mountaintop that because smart contracts, it's going to go to $10. Literally, if you go back and look at the thumbnails and look at all the people that were the big KOLs and the big channels, they were all calling for a $10 Cardano because of smart contracts and because of the upgrade. And what happened? We had massive sell pressure at $2.95, and it hasn't gone even near the all-time high. The only reason it pumped recently is because the president mentioned it in a basket of crypto on one post that was just like, David Sachs even said it. He was like, he mentioned XRP and Cardano and all this stuff because it's the top 5. It's the coins that are in the top 10 of the total cryptocurrency market cap. It was just kind of like a nudge, like, okay, yeah, well, you know, that was the only reason why I pumped. It wasn't because people are using the chain. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have a massive bleed into the chains that are going to be the pick for institutions. All right. Anything else? Anything else to cover? I think that's. I think we covered a good amount. Any other questions? Charts you want me to pull up? According to my metrics, there's a total of 100 people, 100 real people that are watching crypto content right now. It's wild how it changes so fast. I'll show you guys. Look, I'll show you something really telling, and it's the way that you can actually, if you have a channel yourself, you can see the high points and the low points in the markets by just going to your analytics and go to like the past 90 days. And there you go. Would like to go to the whole year. Or actually, yeah, let's go to the past 90 days. That's better. Okay, so as you can see here, April had a nice spike, then drop off. Then no one cares. Then you get in May a little bit of action, then a just massive drop off. You get a little action here, but this is just in terms of views. The watch hours, though, that's where it's at. You go here, you can see in the Trump pump and a little bit before in October had some action, but really we've only had a spike up close to this just in May, and then since then it's just been crickets. It's cricket sounds. It's just crickets. So this is why I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm not going to be like, oh, like why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing with my life? Dude, no one's here. No one understands what we're talking about. The average person doesn't even still understand about inflation and how money printing is affecting the overall way of their life and how they're going to go into the next couple of years. They're not even thinking about that. They're just trying to work and survive. So I get it. But there's always something. Something puts a fire and a little spark under the retail ass to then start to go on YouTube and watch content. And for a while, it was like, before it was crypto, it was just like invest and just looking at Robinhood, like, oh, the call options, the put options on GME or GameStop and AMC, and that was what was getting people like wanting to kind of dive in a little bit. Same with me. And coming out of COVID, everyone was on Robinhood. So what is going to be the catalyst that makes the retail open up Robinhood again? What's going to be the catalyst to make people download the whatever number 1, 2, or 3 spot crypto app that's on Google Play or the App Store? What is it? I don't know. The last cycle, it was GME in the run on Wall Street and Reddit sub-communities going ham. What is it now? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to convince retail to come back. Some people think they're never coming back. That they are never coming back. They're only going to be in because they have no choice. Because everything's going on chain. So they'll be in crypto regardless because they're using a stable coin. It's a mind F, guys. I'm telling you, it really is a mind F. But what is going to help you? Watch this stream again. Because I broke down everything to get you to understand the plot, to get you to zoom out, look at some altcoins that the institutions are actually using. Not even just that they're looking at or they're thinking about buying. They're using them. So I don't know what other signal we can get than that to just continue to learn about this, to be in crypto, and to hopefully, we'll be one of the last ones standing to get that big ass spike of viewership and people coming in, because we have to be here. You know why? Because these people know what the hell to do. I've been here testing crypto, pulling up charts, making mistakes, making trades. I've made all mistakes. I've done some good calls. I've had some pretty damn good calls and some good trades. I don't want to down myself and say I've always made bad decisions. But I've done enough and I've tested this ecosystem out that I feel like I can provide value for people that are going to come in and not know what the hell to do. I'd hate for new people to come in and have no source to get their information from. Because when you leave it to the mainstream media to talk about crypto, it's like a clown show. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're just trying to talk about it because they know they have to pivot. So they're like, well, let's talk about crypto today. It's like, we've been talking about crypto for the past 3.5 years. So, and they need people like us so then they can relate. They don't really relate to these mainstream media talking heads. They don't even know what the hell they're even talking about when it comes to crypto. They don't even know. They don't even use it. They don't even have a wallet themselves. So this is why we're doing this is why we have the attitude that we have. And it's not a bad attitude. I think it's a good attitude. Well, I think they're probably going to, Lasers. Lasers is saying it would be really, really cool if GTA introduced crypto to the game. I mean, they're probably going to. There's going to be some type of incorporation of a marketplace or a way that inside the game you could have an operation going on and you're generating income inside the game. And there has been some rumors coming down the pipe that they're going to make a World of Warcraft 2. Right now, if you're not in tune with the nerd grapevine, Azeroth right now is being completely wormholed and split and being cracked into two. It's the battle of the worlds. It's like the battle of the like there's this whole thing going on in terms of the lore of World of Warcraft. And so it's all leading into World of Warcraft 2. I mean, come on. World of Warcraft is one of the most popular massive multiplayer online games with the record amount of users at a point in time where there were like 2 million people playing back in the day in the early late 2000s. Crazy. And so imagine you get a World of Warcraft with a active real marketplace like the auction house generating real value and income for gamers. It's over. It's over. That's going to be that'll be the catalyst. That, and if GTA has something like this, and then there's literally people becoming millionaires by playing these games, because WoW had a bootleg way of creating wealth through playing your game, because you would sell your characters, you would buy rushed characters and stacked characters where you could just get a full run or get to legendary status of certain weapons, or you get speed run characters. You could buy gold on a specific website. I remember there was a specific website to where you could have all. It was like an auction house online that translated into the game, and then that's how you would do transactions. I don't know. Do you guys remember? What that website was? It was one main one that this was happening. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's funny. Like, it's funny just watching the numbers on my YouTube. It's like, at what point is YouTube just going to stop playing the games? Stop playing the games. They're playing them games right now. But like I said, we really do appreciate anyone that comes in here. I don't care if it's literally half of a person. It could be 2.5 men. I'll give that half a person some alpha. Everyone's always wondering, what's the alpha? What's the alpha? Here's the alpha. Stop trading. Stop trading. Believe in something. Do even just an hour of research. Be on crypto Twitter about a couple hours less than you are. And know that everything is based off of ETH going to an all-time high. There's your alpha. You don't need the next 100x. You don't need that. Just listen to what I just said. Don't believe me? Just watch. We've messed it up enough times that now we figured it out. We figured it out. But don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. And we have proof. We have proof. See, we bought a Lambo. We did get the Lambo. Everyone's like, win Lambo. Win Lambo right now, baby. I think win Lambo. Actually, speaking of Lambo, look at. Did you know that that Lamborghini makes a like a crossover SUV? I had no idea. I was looking at Lambos and I was like, how much are these Lambos? I were like, if I wanted to get like at least like a 2020 Lambo, not a brand new one. I don't know if I'd be buying a brand new Lambo because that's up there. But they make these Lamborghini. It's called like a Urus. Have you seen these things? So I'm actually, instead of getting a Lambo like this, like a Lamborghini like this, I want to get the Fambo. Because I have a kid, I got a family. I got the wife, I got the kid, and my daughter always jokes too. She says, "Are we gonna get a Lamborghini?" She's like, "I want a Lamborghini." So I'm gonna get a Famborghini. I'm calling it the Fambo. It's not the Lambo, it's the Fambo because we're gonna be driving the Fam in it. We're gonna roll up in style, baby. But look at this thing. Do you guys like this? I thought it was slick. I thought it was pretty damn slick. I mean, look at that. And it's also got, it's fully carbon fiber on the inside. It's got the classic Lambo seats with that inlay, color inlay. Look at the carbon fiber. And then that velvet, it's got that nice nice kind of almost suede. I think that's suede too. That's suede with carbon fiber inlaid into the interior. You can see the, classic Italian logo right there on the steering wheel, all the bells and whistles, digital dashboard. And then also you can see where you have the different settings. You can actually, put it into multiple different modes here, fully customizable. This thing is top freaking notch, but this is what I'm shooting for. I don't want the Lamborghini like the wreck into a freaking fly off a damn cliff kind of Lamborghini. But this one looks a little bit more my style. I'm liking this one. This one just looks amazing. I mean, look at this thing. Love it. Got some backseat room, but this thing's a V8 though. Like the engine is a freaking Lamborghini engine. So you'd see this on the road and think, what's the horsepower? Yeah, 8 cylinders. 8-cylinder V8, 4.4 liter, 4.0 liter, 650 horsepower bi-turbo engine, and it's an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's what's dope. It's all-wheel drive, Tiptronic. But the 2021, it's $220,000. But you can get a 2021 edition, limited spec, 190,000. This one's 165. That's not too bad. But yeah, I was loving this Urus. The Urus looks awesome. Calling it the Fambo. The Famborghini. Get the Famborghini. Like this one's cool. The windows are a little bit more tinted. Got a nice super blackout tint. Love the black rims. I never thought I'd be into a yellow car, but I don't know. Something's telling me like you're gonna get a yellow Lambo by being patient. You're gonna get a Fambo, a yellow Fambo. I love the look of this car. It's so awesome. You got a dream. You got a dream, right? You got a dream. What car would you guys get? What car would you guys get when you hit big on your meme coin? What are you getting? This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting this. I'm going straight to Miami and picking this baby up. Yes. Oh, all right, guys. Well, I'll see you later. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. A Corvette? Lasers, you'd get the Corvette? Yeah, I think the Corvettes, because the way that they change the body up, it makes it look more like a super sporty car. I mean, the Corvettes have always had a pretty decent sporty look, but they really like got that cut in. You know, that cut in on the air cut ins on the side kind of made the body a little bit more like polygoned out. And so some people are really into that. Or they really like the old school, like classic Corvette with like the squared out butt, the back of the car. But yeah, the Corvette. So would it be the newer Corvette lasers or would it be the old school, old style Corvette? I always like the look of the Stingrays, like the really old Stingrays, but I've heard that the turning is like sucks because it's an older car. So like the old like Corvette Stingrays, like the turning is just like garbage. Like it's just not like it's probably is not as fun to drive as driving a newer car with power steering. You got actual power steering in there, Okay, yeah, so a newer one. So what are those going for? So a new Corvette. Let's see what those are going for. So a new Corvette. The ZR. This is the ZR1X. This is like a new 2026. I wonder what these are. What are these going for? Let's just see what they're going for. Let's see. The 2025 Chevy. Okay, let's see. The 2025 Chevrolet Corvette has a starting price of $70K. Oh, that's not too bad. So the stock Sky, no, I cannot. You are fake. I am not going to reply to you in the chat. I'm convinced that every Twitch viewer now is fake, and that's just how it is. I mean, at this point, like it feels like we're streaming to a bunch of bots. Besides you, lasers, and whoever else is on the YouTube right now. But it's like the YouTube and all the other platforms. They're just starting to become complete garbage. They don't take care of the people that are here every single day. It's for their own downfall. I mean, YouTube eventually could completely go belly up and be overrun with bots and ads and and fake accounts and a bunch of garbage, and people are just going to lose confidence in YouTube. It's like, what happened to building up the small accounts and the small channels, because they're on here every single freaking day. It's like they have no prioritization for people that are actually actively using the platform every single day, which is a bad business model. Which means that if any other platform came up, which like Rumble, and we're providing better services and you can get less of the headache, then people are just going to end up streaming on those platforms more. So YouTube, you better get your damn act together. Yeah, Corvette, the ZR, this one is a lot more because it's probably got all the bells and whistles. That one's $178,000. So here's the thing, like, so would you spend $178 on the Corvette, or would you and like not have as much you know, like this is like a town driver. Like you could drive this thing like you could drive this anywhere. Like I would feel comfortable like driving this around town, like I'd feel comfortable like taking this on a road trip. But a Corvette, I know, same. Like I use YouTube because it's just what I've used YouTube for years. And I always thought like if I were to, be a content creator and have a channel that I could at least get up to like 10,000 or 15,000 pretty, get up there pretty fast. I feel like I kind of figured it out, but shit. It's like I was just at how many subscribers did I have? I had 3,686, and I got 3 unsubscribes. Which they could just be bots. They could just be like, old accounts, but I don't know. Can a bot unsubscribe? Or if an account was just fake and then it just gets removed, so then your numbers are kind of all skewed. Who knows? But yeah, we're going for this. We're going for that. If we're going to get any fancy car, we're going to get that one. Yeah. See, that's why it's like I feel like for a daily driver and for if you have a family, this has like all the things you would want. And you would just feel cool as hell driving this thing. Let's be honest. You'd feel pretty damn cool. And what's great is that this is a 2021, but the mileage is only 57,000 miles on this baby. So it's actually a really good deal for what the mileage is and what kind of car you're getting. Yeah, that's the one right there. Not too bad. 164. That's how I want my mind to be. I want to be like, that's not bad. So you gotta switch your whole perception of everything. We've been programmed so bad over the years. And to really, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you've been programmed your entire life. You've been programmed your entire life. Everything is going against you. Everything is going against you. Don't you forget that for a second. Everything is going against you. From the moment you're born, you have a system that needs you, not wants you, needs you to be a participant in the system. And the moment that you start to show signs that you're going to break away from the systems, you watch how strong that shit starts coming at you to keep you in the system by the method of programming, mainstream media, the voices around, all the stuff, everything. There's so much stuff that is going to try and convince you to be a participant in this freaking system. So what you have to do is reprogram your brain. Reprogram your brain. If you don't, the system will. Because guess what? They figured out a long time ago that you're just like a computer. you're just like a computer. And they'll Trojan horse your ass real fast. So get your VPN up, defrag, and let's install wealth, abundance, strength, determination, willpower. Let's install those programs. That's the alpha. That's the damn alpha. So I'll leave you with that, my friends. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay strong, stay diligent, stay vigilant, stay convicted, and you will win. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Make sure you do your part. Make sure you hit all the buttons, all the subscribe buttons, the bell buttons, the like buttons. And if you haven't tested out any of the stuff that I like to promote as the partners of the live stream and the channel, we have some amazing things that we like to use. And it is OURBIT, PHEMEX, and Apex. And this is a DEX. Apex is the DEX that's powered by Bybit. But then we got PHEMEX, we got OURBIT. OURBIT's got a really cool competition thing going on with the FIFA games where you can gamify your experience. So check that out. If you want to check out any type of crypto debit cards, these are the platforms that we have that you can get access to crypto debit cards like crypto.com or Coinbase. And if you haven't used a VPN yet and you need one, I do have a referral link for that, so check that out. And also just check out my website and also follow me at DanoCrypto904, which is my X profile. So make sure you guys are doing that. I'm trying to get to 2,000 verified followers so I can finally start to get monetized on X. So help me achieve that goal. And again, thank you guys. We'll see you on the next video and live stream. Peace.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.